Hi, I'm John Williamson, joined by Francis Burton here to talk RCM Tech Talk and specifically AR workflow strategies. So AR workflow is the thing we're all about here at Lockbox. We've been studying this. We've broken it apart into a million pieces. We've automated a bunch of it. But at the end of the day, we talk to a lot of folks who are managing AR in a bunch of different ways. So, Francis, I know this is an area of expertise for you. You've seen a ton of this in your consulting career as well. Talk to us about some of the typical workflow that you're seeing when it comes to AR management.
Well, it starts by dividing up the work by how many people you have to do it, right? So you could have 3 or 4 people, or you could have 15. Typically, I see dividing by financial class, which means Medicare, Medicaid, commercial. Sometimes you have to subdivide that because the Medicare bucket is so big. Or I see it by specialty. I had a client group that was surgeons. So we had urology team, a vascular team. So it can be done by specialty. Rarely do I see it by locations. Of course, unless you're an RCM vendor, you'll have your client groups, right? It could be by region, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and this approach, I kind of equate it to the old-fashioned way of making cars. If you make one car at a time and one person does the whole thing and they have to be an expert in the whole thing, where everyone, you sort of own a claim, from day zero billing all the way through to, transfer to patient and everything in between, which at a lot of times makes a lot of sense, and folks do it for specific reasons. So, whether this is building the payer and specialty expertise, that's a big one. Of course, you know what to expect from a certain payer. You see it over and over. It promotes claim ownership. So, you're not going to kick the can down the road if you're the one that's going to go have to pick up the can later, so to speak. So you'll go the extra mile, do the extra follow-up, do the extra research to get a claim closed. That's the theory. And it doesn't create team dependencies. So, because you can work on your own, you're not dependent on handoff between different players. That's often why people do it. Francis, you've seen this a bunch. Why does this not work?
Well, you definitely get pigeonholed into, that person only knows Medicare or only knows Dr. Jones's way of charting. So you definitely need that cross training between your division of class or specialty. And if that person is out, again, it's all related to that, who's going to jump in. The thing I hear the most every time we ask the question, how do you handle if somebody needs to be on vacation for a week? They often say, it sits there till I get back. Somebody might be the doing the minimum necessary, but on a smaller team, for sure, you're limited to what that person was assigned to do to be able to pass it to someone. So the junior staff knowledge gap. The downside is you've got the same person doing the gathering of the data, trying to make a decision, and doing the work that follows. That takes a lot of time to build the whole car, right? So a good example, as far as like a medical assistant doing the vital signs for the doctor, so he doesn't need to be doing the vital signs. You get him back, do the chief complaint. Then the physician can do his part, do the orders, and the person after him would do all the action work, right? So, the downside of having a narrow scope of division of duties, it just limits you to that channel.